Welcome to another episode of Dollar Dorks. This is episode 7. If I can just correct that in my document. On this podcast, we aim to share video game buying and selling tips, give suggestions for games to watch for, provide tips to fund your collection with your collection, and hopefully change the perception some people have of sellers in the video game market. So I have, or video game community, sorry. My guests today, I have Josh Creepleet.
Hello.
The man who turns garbage into cash. And we have RocketSauce, honorary producer of many great Cartridge Club podcasts.
Hello, everyone.
And of course, me, Derek of Two Dorks. So we get started as usual with your last noteworthy deal or pickup. We start off with Josh. What's the last thing you bought?
Okay, so I got a couple things. I'm going to kind of cheat here and kind of go through a bunch of stuff.
No worries.
So I'm going to cheat a little bit again. The last thing I got, I actually showed in my last pickup video, but I don't know if everyone who watches my videos will listen to podcasts. So we'll cover the bases here. And I recently got a DS game lot, which had a bunch of games, including Sonic, the classic collection for the DS that has all the original games on it. And then it also had a Pokemon Black, Lego Batman, Brain Age 1 and 2, Kirby, Kid Icarus Uprising, Rayman 3D, and Pokemon Emerald. And the price that the seller originally had on it was $5, and I assumed that meant $5 each, as most people forget to put prices on things. So I just assumed, okay, there's a couple things here I want. I sent him off a message, hey, how much would you, or there's a couple things I want, when can I pick it up? He said anytime tonight, and he said I'll give you everything for $5. So wow. I just went and got all that stuff. So it's a huge stack of stuff, which I think was pretty sweet. So out of that lot, I'm only keeping 2 of the games, and I'm going to sell the rest off, and I'm pretty sure I'll make my $5 back on it.
Maybe. The worst part is you live in the same town as me.
I know. Well, I'll just sell them to you then, and you can sell them.
There you go. Wait a second.
Then I also picked up a red Wii. It's one of the, I think it's the 25th anniversary. Like Mario Wii.
Yep.
Because it also has the GameCube compatibility on it.
Mm-hmm.
So that one was at Value Village for $15. I jumped on it, and I have 3 Wiis in the house, so I will just replace one and sell the other one off to make my money back on that. And to keep up with my reputation as makes money off of garbage.
As a creep.
I'm a garbage creep. I actually did find some stuff in the garbage, but the most interesting things that I found recently within the past week, some Wii games and some PS2 games, including Mario Kart Wii, and the Bust a Move, that picture I believe you saw on Twitter and commented on.
Yeah.
They were kind of dirty, but I did clean them up, and the Mario Kart one turned out a lot better than the Bust a Move. So, and then I also found a Ziploc bag full of Wii controllers, 4 Wiimotes, 2 nunchucks, 2 of the Wii Classic controllers, a GameCube controller, a GameCube memory card, and a PS1 memory card randomly. So
nice.
So all of that for free. So I will keep the classic controllers and just sell everything else off, and hopefully make a profit.
Yeah, definitely. Zero invested.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's crazy. Any interesting Wiimotes, like with Wii Motion or colored ones, or
no, just regular white ones, unfortunately. But
that's fine.
It's still worth something, I guess. So
they still work. Just depends on the game, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Wii Motion Plus. That's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I've been up to.
Awesome. Yeah. So most of it selling, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. The couple things like the Bust a Move, like I said, I will be keeping that one. I think it's one of the few games that actually has more than 4 players on the Wii. So you can actually have up to 8 players on it.
That's pretty cool.
So I think I'll just keep that one just to try it out. I don't know when I'll ever have 8 people over at my house at once again, but
Well, I've seen you have a couple people when you're playing other games, like 4
Yeah.
people at least, right?
Yeah, I can get 4 to 5 on a regular basis, but 8's a stretch. So we'll see
Yeah.
how it goes.
All right, I'll be there.
All right, fair enough.
So moving on to me, I picked up Funky Barn for Wii U at EB Games. It was priced at now I can't remember what the price tag was. I think it was $14.99, and they had a buy 2 get 1 free on Wii and Wii U games. So I picked up 2 more Wii U games that I actually wanted, or at least I wanted one, my son wanted one. So we bundled that all together. I split up the price, not evenly, because I bought Zombie U, which they had at $14, and I consider that only a $5 game because I've seen it for $5 and passed it up for $5 and sold it for whatever I sold it for. I don't remember. So anyway, all in all, basically that game cost me $18.88 with tax, and I just sold it on eBay and shipped it yesterday for $45.58. After my fees, that's after fees, and shipping costs as well. So that's $26.70 profit.
Nice.
Not bad. And then I also, at a garage sale a couple weeks ago, actually a month ago, picked up a Polly Pocket locket, actually. So it's like on a necklace. And I'm just like, I need to try buying other things. And I knew that Polly Pockets and Mighty Max.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
and
I remember
collectibles.
Mighty Max. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
remember
Polly
Mighty Max
Pocket is
now.
the girl equivalent, basically.
Oh, okay.
I assume it's done by the same company. And my sister had them when she was a kid, and my cousin had some. So I'm like, I'm just gonna pick it up. It's in great condition. It had the figure inside, and usually those are missing when you see them in thrift stores. So I'm like, I'll just grab it up. They asked, it was tangled a whole bunch of crap, a whole bunch of necklaces. I asked how much. They said $1. I'm like, yeah, I won't even offer 50 cents. Let's just do $1. So I posted it on eBay a month ago for $30 plus $5 shipping, and it just sold yesterday, and I shipped it off. So that was $28.16 profit after shipping and tax.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's something I would
trying
never
to-
have thought to.
Yeah. Trying to do something different. And I have other stuff to sell that's similar, but that's for a later section if we get around to that. Yeah, that's pretty much what I picked up recently, and they just happen to both be things that I've sold too. I actually, you know what? I picked up recently. We were just talking about that before we started, and I did pick up these two on Kijiji. These two controllers, which are Xbox One wireless controllers. One of them is the Winter Forces wireless limited edition, and the other is, they call it military green/orange.
Okay.
They both look like they're really good condition. They needed a little bit cleaning. The girl I bought them from said she took care of her stuff, but she also said she cleaned them, but they were nasty in the sides. Just tons of,
Didn't want to get deep in there.
So I tore them apart and cleaned them, but Xbox One controllers are really easy to clean that area because the side pops right off. This bottom thing, it just has clips and pops right off, and then you can clean that whole side real easily. Yeah, so those I bought for $50 together. She was offering asking $60, which is already a good price because some people sell those each for $60, especially with the box.
Yeah.
So I offered $50 for both, and I got it for $50. It was a decent drive away from me. Like, where was it? I'm trying to remember the area near the Edelweiss, if that helps you.
Oh, that's like right. Well, that's in my area.
I was gonna say it's probably not far from you, but yeah. So I picked those up, and I think I was the first person to see it on Kijiji, and she was more than happy to sell them.
Damn, I feel like I got robbed.
Only in your backyard, not in your house.
Practically
like
was
you
my
never picked up
backyard
anything
for as far as I know.
Yeah, it could have been in your backyard.
It could have been.
Yeah. Yeah. So Ryan, it's on you. What's something you picked up?
So I got a couple things here, and I'll just show what came in the mail today. I bought a new iPhone because my phone was 4 years old. I think it's time to update. But I bought the iPhone SE, which is the same exact size as the 5S, which was my previous phone. And the case came in today, and it's actually officially licensed by Sega. It is a Genesis controller iPhone case. It's a little thicker.
Oh,
than,
yeah, thick.
But it's got, I guess, really good protection inside there. So I'll give it a shot. If I don't like it, I'll just buy another case. But for the price I paid, I think it was kind of neat looking. So that came in the mail today. And I got this one last Friday. So as you guys know me from the Hangouts, I love my senior discount and my student discount. The discount did not come in effect, even though this one was from Goodwill, because I bought this last Friday. So this is the Super Multi-Tap for the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
I paid $2.99 for it, and
Nice.
the prices are little, at least on eBay. And I know it's dirty. I still haven't cleaned it up yet, because I wanted to show the price tag on it first before I go to town on this thing. I know it's only good for one game. At least I think it's only good for one game, which is Bomberman for Super Nintendo. But the multi-tap, the price is kind of high for this. I think I see it selling. People are asking $40 to $50 for this thing on eBay.
Well, that looks like the Hudson one, right? So
yeah.
I think it's got more of a name brand to it, which is why it's probably asking.
Yes, I do remember hearing that one. If it didn't have the Hudson, if it was the Nintendo one, right, that is worth less or something.
Yeah.
And isn't that the one that Canadian Retro just picked up? Was the other one the non-Hudson?
Yeah, I think he picked up the non-Hudson one. Yeah,
I thought so too. And I think he might have said his was PAL as well. Not that that matters. I don't believe that affects anything because the controllers are the same.
The only thing is, I saw, because when I was looking this one up just to say, because I was like, hey, I don't see this too much at Goodwill, to see if this is a good price, because I used to see this one all the time, and I just don't see it too much anymore. And I saw how much it was going for, because I remember seeing these forever for like $5 to $10, and I was like, oh, okay, well, this is a really good price. The only thing about it is, it seems like Japan has an even cool Bomberman's head on it as the multi-tap, and it's basically because Bomberman's head's kind of a square, so they have two on one side, two on the other.
Cut out when you said it. That's all.
Yeah. Oh, so do you want me to repeat what I said?
No, Bomberman's head on it.
Yeah, for a multi-tap. Yeah. So it's cool. It's just Japan got something better than us North Americans. So
I'm looking at a list of games, and it looks like there's like, I don't know, 50, but they might be Japanese only or European only. It's hard to tell because they don't list exactly what they say, how many players, and then there's articles for several of them. But let's see, Vegas Stakes. I have Vegas Stakes. That says it supports up to 4 players
for Super Nintendo.
Yeah,
that's interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I'm imagining even with Secret of Mana, that's 3 players, right? So you could use.
Oh yeah, that's
WWF Raw. Says it supports 4.
Man, that's a good one too.
Yeah. That one you probably didn't have. Rock and Roll Racing?
I have Raw for the Genesis. I don't have it for the Super Nintendo, so now I'm going to have to...
Okay. NBA Jam says 4 players, even Tournament Edition.
Really?
I mean, maybe this list is all wrong. It's No, it's not Wikipedia. It's whatever. Nintendo.wiki.
Fake SuperNintendo.com.
Yeah. Well, let's hope it's right.
Sure. So, and then... I was all set with just, to show that for the show, but then I stumble upon this. So here's another Dollar Dorks exclusive here. So I was shopping my normal places, my normal thrift shops on Wednesday, and Wednesday is normally senior discount day, but I didn't find anything at the Goodwills that had senior discount. But the one shop that's also on the way home has student discount on Wednesday. Now, I still have my college ID, and I graduated last January, but the picture is still relevant, and they, even though even the card says it's expired like 3 years ago, they don't look at the back for that. So you just show them the front. Show them the front. They just put it in the student discount in the machine. They get my student discount. So I stumbled upon this at that store, and I wasn't expecting to see this, but they had a hefty lot of I'm begging here.
Jeez, no.
It was they've had a NES and
Nice.
two controllers, light gun, power, and RF. They wanted $40 for that.
Okay.
So just to show you the price tag, I'm not making that up. And they had a whole stack of games. No, the games are priced differently. They're not the same price, but they're priced pretty decently. And keep in mind, I was also getting a student discount on this too. So my student discount at the store is 20% off. So I got Castlevania,
Nice.
five screw edition. So
Already worth it.
Kirby's Adventure. This was $7.99. I don't know. I'm not gonna show all the prices because just take in mind that all of these are below the normal asking rate. Mega Man 3.
Nice.
Prince of Persia. believe that's an uncommon game. Crash Test Dummies.
Nice. I love those two.
Defenders of Dynatron City, game I've never ever really seen before. So that's got to be.
Never even heard of it before.
There you go. Smash TV.
Defenders of Dynatron City shows $26 loose on.
Which one?
Defenders of Dynatron City says 26 loose on American on price charting.
And I didn't pay that price. Championship Pool. That was the cheapest game in the lot. Rollerblade Racer. Never really seen that one before too much either. Mega Man 4.
Nice, even better.
Dragon Strike. This is a Dungeons and Dragons game. It's also pretty pricey. Turtles 2 Arcade. And Nightshade. So what's it called? Now 5 of these games I have. So this is nice because it helps, stack up my NES collection, which is pushing 400 games. So the 5 I have that will be getting added, I'm going to sell. So one quick thing about my NES that here, I was happy to pick it up because mine is really worn out right here. The previous owner, which I rebought my NES when I was in high school, it was his, but for some reason the thing is worn out right in the front of the lid here. But I was a little disappointed because I didn't see it till I got home because the price tag was covering the panel here. There's a little chip here. So I can't probably get max value for this NES because that thing keeps popping out basically where you have to almost push it back in basically. But it closes. You just gotta putz with it. I'll make sure to note it when I'm gonna sell this thing. But I'm hoping to sell this NES as a bundle. With
swap parts with yours and give yourself the good one, then you won't feel as bad.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea to get to keep the good lid.
Yeah,
that was not I don't know. I just gotta take it apart and clean it a little bit, I guess, if you will. So I'm gonna put the stack right here. So these 5 are the 5 I previously owned. So I have Mega Man 3, 4, Turtles Arcade, Kirby's Adventure, Castlevania, and I'm hoping to bundle that with the NES. So the total price was, I can't remember exactly, but with my student discount, it brought it down to $142.66. So like I said, most of these games exceed their asking price originally before even the discount came into effect.
Yeah.
So my ultimate goal is I hope I can get almost that money back with these 5 games and the NES for that deal. That would be my goal, and to keep the 9 games that I didn't have in the collection. That's my ultimate goal.
I think I'd imagine you'd be able to do that very easily.
If it was me, I would actually take 2 games that are worth less, bundle them in with the console and sell that off, and sell the other games individually. That's what I would do, but I don't know your market.
Yeah,
you're in.
Yeah,
I'm
gonna sell the Mega Man separately. That's
what I would do too.
Well, I was thinking about just putting it as a hefty price, like on a Let Go or something like that, like a hefty price, and maybe see if I can get that asking price basically for it. I know Castlevania, Mega Man 3. I know these 5 will sell instantly. Basically, these 5 will.
Yeah, but I wonder if you'll make more off them not bundling them. Is what I wonder.
Yeah,
maybe
so that's the thing.
Console until you find a Duck Hunt Mario combo and sell that with the console.
They had it. I know. I passed on the Duck Hunt Mario there too.
But how much?
I think it was $3.
I almost would have bought that just to bundle it with, to sell that to an average person that just wants the nostalgia, and then sell those games to someone who's willing to pay more.
I was only going to just buy the games, and then when I got to the cash register, I said to myself, I was like, well, it's $40 right now. With my discount, it brings it down to $32.
Yeah,
might as well throw it in because that's a really good price on the NES, basically.
Yeah.
So that's the way I was figuring. I was like, like I said, I think it'd be easier to sell that NES with these games. That's my thought. I'm gonna look it up a little bit. I know I'm gonna probably have to test them, test the images, because people are gonna ask if they work, if the NES works, so I could test it. But that's my ultimate goal, is to sell these 5 games plus the NES, get my money back, so they paid for the 9 games I didn't own. That's my ultimate goal right now.
Yeah, I would price it even higher. Like if I was priced, I don't know what the games are all worth for sure exactly, but I would say like $250. Ask for all of that together and see if you get it.
Yeah, and just to see if anyone bites on it, and if someone, because I'm not going to eBay this one.
Just an NES with a freaking Zapper and Duck Hunt for $150 on Facebook groups. People just bid each other up and get crazy.
Yeah, I do actually, I think, have a spare Mario Duck Hunt, so I could probably throw in this too.
Just because the Zapper's there.
Yeah.
For the price of it, you could just throw in your copy. I'm sure you'd find another one.
Yeah.
It's a good point. That's also a really good point. I also I don't think I have a 5-screw Castlevania, so I'm probably gonna swap it with my Castlevania.
Yeah. Whatever's the one more desirable or worth more, right?
Yeah.
Or even better label, right? That's other option too.
That's the other thing too, is I'm gonna just double check all these to make sure that if they're better quality, than what I previously owned. So the Turtles might be the case on that one, but other than that, I was very happy to add 9 games to my NES collection.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and that's it for pickups here. Recent pickups.
Cool.
Very cool.
I didn't actually mention with my controllers too. I'm planning on keeping those, by the way. That was just a question I usually ask: is are you buying it to sell or to keep? I was gonna sell them, but I'm keeping them. All right.
So Ryan, quick question. I think the real question that everyone wants to know is, how do you get the seniors discount?
Okay, so I lost my Goodwill has a reward system there, at least in my local area, which is, I believe, it's either every $75 you spend at Goodwill, it's either 75 or 80. I can't remember exactly. You get a $5 rewards coupon to use back at Goodwill. So I lost mine a couple years ago. And what the thing is, when they give you one, they give you usually like two cards plus a keychain one. Well, I don't know where my other card went. And my mom signed up for the Goodwill card too as well. And she recently clocked in as a senior citizen. So I took her card not knowing about the senior discount. I just took it because I wanted the rewards points. And with her shopping at Goodwill, I shop at Goodwill, we get the double points basically. It was so we accumulate the rewards coupon faster. And the thing is, I didn't notice it at all until one day I was shopping on a Wednesday. And I think I was buying something. It was like a $2 game, or it was something for a couple of bucks. And all of a sudden I came down below, I was like $189 or something like that. I'm like, this was $2. And so I kind of asked him, I was like, what's going on here? And then the person said, well, today is senior discount day. And then I looked at the name on the receipt because it prints out your name, I think at the bottom, your card's member name, and had my mom's name on it. And I was like, oh. So then I went to another Goodwill following that up, because I usually hit up multiple Goodwills on the days I'm thrifting. Sure enough, I found something else, checked it out, ringed out, and I got the discount again. And I think it was pointed out to me, the person, when I checked out and I kind of asked what's going on, and they said senior discount day. The clerk says, most people here don't care. Some people will and not give you the discount because they'll just hit the decline button. But most people here don't care. They don't look and don't care. They just ring it up and they'll just press whatever A-OK. So that's how I got my senior discount.
Very cool. Man, you got to find the ways to work the system, right? So
little loopholes. You got to play the game, And I know, like I said, my Goodwill has student discount days on Saturdays, so I will get a discount if I find anything on Saturdays. So I usually always try to hit up multiple Goodwills on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Those are my 2 hopeful days. Granted, I benefit from having a Goodwill about 5 minutes down the road from my work. So every day on my lunch break, Monday through Friday, I will hit up Goodwill just to see if I find anything. Stuff is not put out in the morning. It's all sporadically through the day. So it's your luck. If you find something, your day, the time you're putting it out, you're in luck. If not, just come back the next day.
I would do the same if I had one near me, but I just don't. It sucks. The closest one to me is 11 minutes from my work, but totally in the wrong direction. So not helpful.
There's nothing there anyway.
That's St. Jacobs. That's where I have to go. Is St. Jacobs. That's
that one's pretty rough. Yeah.
I find stuff, but not very often, and usually it's not games. It's usually toys and stuff for my kid and stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Well, moving on to the next section is, what are you selling? Tell us something you have for sale on eBay, Kijiji, or something you're thinking of getting rid of, selling, trading, anything. And where did you find it, etc. Starts off with me. So I first have a Nintendo Wii that I got actually on Kijiji. for free. I think I mentioned it a while ago. Somebody, maybe it was on Twitter, I can't remember, but someone posted that it wasn't working. I'm like, okay, maybe I can fix it. They said, when I asked for more questions, they said, it won't turn on. We think it's the power supply. I'm like, oh, great, I got a spare power supply. So I went and picked it up, and it included the power, or sorry, it was in the box, and I was surprised that it was in the box. There was no controllers with it, but still in the box, everything else is complete. I plug it into my power supply, and it works fine. Okay. Plug it into their power supply, and it works fine. Like, I don't know what's wrong. This thing works perfectly fine. So I have that to sell. I took it to the Barry Game Exchange, but of course, I didn't expect a normal Wii to really sell at the Barry Game Exchange. It's not the right type of thing, unless you got a regular, everyday consumer who doesn't already have a Wii. I got that on Kijiji, didn't pay anything. You know what it's worth. I put $50 on it, but I don't know if it's going to sell $50 or not. Bill and Joe seem to have good luck with it, with selling Wii's in Toronto, but not me here.
Yeah, this area of town, KW has been pretty bad for selling Wii's lately.
Yeah, I think there's just too many of them for sale. I do still see people post them for like $150 though, but
yeah, they're not going anywhere. That's the thing. They're just
maybe I just see a lot get posted. Okay, and then I'm asking you guys, where do you think I should sell it? You guys have any thoughts? It's
eBay won't sell on eBay, in my opinion, unless you're willing to take a hit. I think the best spot right now, it probably is like Let Go. I'm trying to remember what the other.
Yeah, Garage Sale. I have the Garage Sale app.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what the other. It's not Garage Sale. There is another one that's just identical to OfferUp, at least in the States here. I don't know. Maybe you just don't have it.
I've seen a couple. So one's called Garage Sale with a V. The other one is Carousel. And then, of course, there's OfferUp and Let Go.
OfferUp. That's
OfferUp's here. I'm not sure if OfferUp is here for sure or not.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just not very busy. And then there's also Buns, which is the one Miles always talks about.
I would
is that in our area?
It is anywhere.
Okay,
It used to be just Toronto and major cities, but they'll let you post from anywhere now.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't posted.
The last time I checked, they were only in Toronto. I haven't checked since. That's why I was curious if they were still expanding.
I had signed up, and I signed up their newsletter because I wanted to know when they were coming to this area, and then they said you can sign up anywhere. So the problem is there's just not enough people using it because there is no presence in this area.
Yeah.
All right. Next thing I have for sale is 4 Nintendo Game Boy Advance SP chargers. They also charge the original DS. I got them various places. Some of them were Value Villages, usually with 30% off discount. Each one I probably didn't pay any more than like $4 for any of them, I'm pretty sure. I thought they'd be worth $10, but they're not selling at $10. So I'm wondering if 5 is more a normal price, but they are authentic Nintendo chargers. They're not third party or anything like that. So I think I have sold one before for maybe $10. And what do you guys think? Where the hell should I sell that?
I think $10 is the retail price that you're going to find with selling it on your Kijiji or Craigslist. People are going to probably want a better deal because I think that's the thing is most people think of that as almost an online rummage sale, kind of like that, where people kind of want a little bit better deal. I think $5 they'll probably go instantly. Because I think $10 is like the price normal stores will sell them for. And
then stores are 15, but I think I've seen it 10. Maybe Microplay, I think around here has better prices on stuff like that. But
I think $10 is a very fair price.
I believe that you talk about Microplay. I think it's $10 for the knockoff.
Okay.
But it is $15 for the original.
Okay. And it's the difference between Canadian and American too, right?
Yeah, exactly.
eBay might be a better play on that one.
Yeah.
eBay could be good. The one problem I do see there is that a lot of people will see all the knockoffs and they will just pass up on the authentics because there's so many knockoffs there.
And the knockoffs can be so cheap.
Yeah, they could be like $2, less than $2.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've considered this, but every time I've had chargers and I take them to swaps, like Barry Game Exchange or KW, Waterloo Video Game Swap.
Yeah.
It's vendors there are always looking for chargers because they have systems they don't have chargers.
Yeah. I had them with me at the swap, and I had vendors buy lots of things off me, but maybe the $10 was scaring them away. But
Yeah,
still, I would have
and
thought they'd try and bundle. I
You
almost
should walk
wanted
up.
$7 or something, so they'd offer me 5 and take all 4 or something.
I think you could sell them because I've had them for 10. I've sold them to other vendors for $10.
Crazy. Okay.
So I mean, even if you like offered them to vendors for like $8, you're still going to make more than the $5 you'd make elsewhere.
Gotcha.
Do you know, probably the easier sell is probably if you could sit down for a while until you find the DSs or a Game Boy to charge it with. That's probably the better play. I mean, if you want to get more bang for your buck, we'll sell instantly. But I don't think you need to sell it for $5. I think selling it for $10 is more than a fair price. I think that's about anything higher though is when you're going to start scaring away, people. It's just it just might be a little bit more of a sit-on move, because
just wait till you see the ad pop up on Kijiji or somewhere for a loose SP, no charger, and just jump on that and lowball them and see if you can get it for cheap. And
Yeah, I've even messaged people like that on other things, not on this, but when they have something they're missing something else, I've messaged them. They're like, "I have this. Do you want to complete it?" I don't think it's ever turned into a sale yet, though.
Yeah.
Like missing an AV cable for a PlayStation, for example. Like, I've got like 30 of them here. All right, moving on. So on to Ryan. What do you got? Anything for sale other than the NES stuff you just talked about?
Yeah, the NES stuff is number one. I'm going to try to flip that because I'm going to Portland in a couple weeks for PRGE.
Yep.
And I have a couple other things that I've been sitting on a while because I usually try to bring. I've kind of given up on bringing stuff for a convention to trade into vendors because I always feel as if I'm going to get significantly lowballed. Now I know there's moves you can try to play against vendors. I've seen it before where it works where you go to a vendor and say, "Hey, do you accept trade-ins?" And what's it called? They say, "Yeah," and say you lay out what you have for trade and say, "Well, will you give me in trade for this?" Like for dollar value wise, and if they tell you a certain amount, then say great, and then pick out the game you want basically for that price, as opposed to finding the game then trying to trade for it. That's never really worked for me. I've tried because I think if a vendor knows you want something, they will try to take you, try to bend you over and take you to Browntown because it just never works at conventions. Now, I've had much better luck, putting something on eBay or something like that and trying to flip it for a decent price, basically. Now, I won't do that for cartridge-based games because I'm afraid of maybe them being cracked or something like that in the mail. Granted, you can really well do it, but like with disc-based games, that's to me is like any straight to eBay flip for me. But I have a couple of games that I'm gonna try to sell eBay wise, and hopefully I can get something for it. I might put one of them. So the first one I'm not gonna do on eBay. I have a Metroid Zero Mission not for resale resale cart.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to put that one up on Let's Go and offer up. I'm gonna try to get as much money as I can, scrounge up a little bit extra cash for Portland, for vending because I don't want to spend. If I could spend money on stuff that I sold to fund my collection, I prefer to do that as opposed to taking money out for conventions.
Yeah.
So that will be more likely, and I think I might be able to get more for that one, as opposed to the other people asking a high price for it on eBay. I think I might be able to get, maybe if I sell it for just a little bit less, I could maybe get an instant flip here in Milwaukee where I can get cash for it straight up. The other thing is I have a Klonoa 2. I know I have a couple of friends who already reached out to me about it, but no one's really come to me about buying it. Really, they just told me, "Hey, I'm looking for that," and I'm like, okay. But I might put that one up on eBay to see if I can get something for it. And I have a couple other games like Sonic 3 box complete. I might be able to get something for that one. That one might be a straight up Let Go offer, if not eBay offer. But those are the three they come to mind that I'm going to try to flip before leaving for Portland.
Cool. It's good. I actually wasn't sure how much you actually flip games originally, because I heard you mention it before. I think I even heard you mention eBay selling before, but I wasn't sure how much you actually sell things that you pick up or extras, do doubles.
If it's the double, it's almost instantly going to be sold right away. For me, that's my ultimate goal, because I try to get much of my, like I said, try to sell as much as I can to fund my collection.
Yeah.
So that's my ultimate goal. If I can, I'm always looking to expand my collection at a great deal price. But and I've had more success recently over probably the last year and a half doing building my collection, as opposed to like buying to build my collection. More likely finding deals at Goodwill and other thrift stores over the last year and a half than I have seen at regular retail stores. It just comes to me, or seems to me right now, that these stores right now are just dry. Where it's just finding something at these stores, it's almost impossible. I have a general idea maybe why it's happening in my area, but right now, like most of the time right now for me, my collection is only built by either A, going to conventions, or B, shopping at thrift stores for at least the last couple of years now.
Now, at the local game stores you're talking, right? That's where you're not finding anything. Is that because the prices are too crazy, or is it because they're just not getting it in stock?
Just not getting in the stock.
Crazy. Okay.
I have a general idea of why. I know the one store that I do frequent, he does get the bulk of the deals, and I know people have heard of his store, so I think they have stopped going to these other stores because he actually gives the most for trade-in value and the most money value. He's the most, as opposed to these other stores nickeling and diming them, nickel and diming people. The last few years, I think people caught on that these aren't the places to go. This guy actually has really good. I've done stuff where I'll take stuff to him just for like $10 credit, where I paid a couple dollars at Goodwill for, and then I'll just take that $10 credit. And when he occasionally does a sale every about a month and a half or so, where everything in store is either 20 or 25% off, I will use then that $10 cash in plus the 20, the discount.
That's good.
He normally sells at eBay's price. So if you can wait, you'll get it below eBay, and hopefully
that's good.
Yeah. And if you're frequent, he does take care of frequent customers. Well, he will even drop below the 20%, 25%, because if he recognizes you too. So
the store that Bill always talks about that he goes to and gets store credit at, they don't let you do stuff like use your credit on a sale day. You know what I mean? Weird stuff like that. Or they don't let you use it on certain things in a display case. Or there's another store in town here actually that doesn't do cash on some things. They'll only take trade on some things. And then there's other stores where the prices are just too high to really bother.
The only thing is he has a punch card system. So for the days that aren't his sale days, that you will get, if you fill up a card, which every $10 you spend, there's $100 on the card, he will either give you $20 to use in the store or 20% off up to $240. So
that's good. I like the building. The more you buy, the more you save, right?
Yeah. So like that's the thing is you can't use that on the sale days. But
that makes sense.
You won't get punches. You won't get punches for it. But like I said, if you're a frequent customer, he will take care of you. So, and I think people have caught on to that, and they have stopped going to the other stores. So it's almost worthless to go to these other stores now. Then now they sell more than just video games at these other stores. They sell DVDs, Blu-ray, CDs still. So people still buy that stuff. But I think most of these games, the video games departments have really dried up here.
Sounds like a smart business owner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really monopolizing everybody, the buyers and the sellers.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. All right. Yeah, we kind of already went through everything. So, Josh.
So I still have a bunch of stuff left over from the several swaps that I've been a vendor at for however many years now. I've accumulated many things. Yeah, my totes. I'm down to one tote now, so I'm making progress. I still have a few limited run things that I've bought doubles of to flip. I know that's almost a taboo thing to mention nowadays, but it is kind of the way. One of the ways that I do make a bit of money to pay for my limited runs. So like if I know it's a hot topic release or whatever, that I will buy two, and then I will sell one off for the price of both of them, and then basically I get my limited runs for free.
Hey, someone missed out. It's the only way they're going to get it, right? They got to buy it from somewhere if they missed
unfortunately, it. And I know a lot of people will look down on that, but unfortunately, like I'm not made of money. I can't afford to buy every single limited run release that comes out like every week or 2 weeks. At least the past couple months, it's been like that. So that's just one of the ways that I use to bring it up. And I mean, if someone is really interested in something like friend-wise or whatever, like I'll give deals to people. I'll bring the prices down. I'll sell it at cost.
You gave him a deal, right? I'm pretty sure.
Pardon, what was that?
I'm pretty sure Miles said you gave him a deal on.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't at cost or anything, but it was. I felt like it was a decent deal, and like I'll still hook up Miles in the future, and anyone really. Thankfully, almost all of them are gone now. I only have a few left. The last Tri-City game swap that was there, I had a lady come up with a list, and she just kind of like picked out a couple of games, and most of them were limited run. And she's like, "How much for this?" And I gave her a price, and she said, "Fine," and she just paid for it. So, I mean, the market is there for that.
Nice. That's good news because I picked up that
quick question about limited run.
Sure.
So I know they did for Yeez, they did a pre-order one where you could pre-order throughout the day. I know it's usually they
for 24 hours. Yeah.
Is that only like the one time they've done it, or is that something they're doing from now on?
That is the only time they've done it so far. Okay. I'm really hoping they'll continue to use that trend. I think it really kind of eliminates all of the butthurtness of the people who don't get it. Because Twitter and Facebook are just aflame after a limited run release of just everyone bashing on this company for their business practices. And, let's
be doing what no one else is doing.
Exactly. Let's be thankful that these games are even getting a release, right?
Yeah.
So, yes, the scalper issue is there, but even they've addressed it, and they said that the percentage-wise of scalpers to actual physical or to actual sales is somewhere in like the 2.5% range. So it's not even big enough for them to worry about. So most people who are buying the games are keeping them.
Curious how they measure that. I'm guessing they're doing eBay sales or something like that.
I'm assuming they're checking eBay sales and just to see which ones are selling and then tally it up somehow.
Yeah, we sold 5,000 and 50 of them sold on eBay. So
yeah, it's in that range, right? So they do recognize that it's an issue. They do know people aren't happy about it, and I understand that. I would be upset if I missed a release. Thankfully, I haven't missed one yet. Not one that I've been wanting, or I've had an interest in. So the ones I have left now are basically just ones that I bought. I was for a long time buying every single one I was buying two of. I've stopped doing that because it just got way too expensive.
Yeah.
So the ones I have left are just like the no-name ones that no one's really interested in. So I'm going to have to turn to eBay for those. I sold a couple on eBay, but the majority of the sales have been at the swaps for those. So, which has been nice. And I don't lose money in fees.
I did pick up that Yeez Origins limited edition or collector's edition for Vita, intending for it to go to P2 if he missed out, because I thought he was at work and everything during that time, but luckily he had time off, etc., etc. So we both got it. So I have a spare copy I'm going to be selling, and I already talked to you about it, but I'm curious of your insights, and you can share here what you kind of told me already.
Okay. Especially with collector's editions, there hasn't been that many released so far from limited run games. My suggestion would just be to hold on to it for, a month, 2 months. I mean, the money you're going to get back at this point isn't going to be a whole lot. I would just hold on to it for a couple of months, see how the market goes. If you see the market going up and up and up, then it's worth it. But if you see it's kind of hovering around the same level, it's not moving anywhere, then you can move it. But just to get it right away and then flip it right off the bat, I mean,
too much competition.
There's a lot of competition, and you probably won't get as much money as you can for it. So just for example, the Oddworld New and Tasty, that was, I think, their third or fourth release. I can't remember now. Very early. That was one of the ones I bought 2 copies of, and I sold it within 6 months of having it. And the price did go up, and it kind of stopped for a bit, and I was like, all right, I'll just get rid of it. So I sold it, but that game now is selling for $250. So that's just showing, like, if you just hold out a little bit longer. So I have I think I have one game that might be worth more money in the future. So I'm just gonna sit on it for a couple of months, and I'm gonna see where the market goes on it. Especially with collector's editions, in your case, like I would do the same. Just sit tight, see where the market's going with it, and then make a decision from there.
Yep, sounds good. Thank you. That's what I plan to do. Just hold on to it, see if it goes up in value at all. I don't even need it to go up in value. I'd be okay if I broke even. But it'd be even better if I made money on it, because why not? It
will pay for the other things that you may have lost money on.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I need, is because I've lost money on things. I think a lot of people don't realize that we make mistakes and we don't make money on everything we buy. Or even things we're keeping. I like to pay for everything I keep, so I want to make money off stuff to pay for that.
So that's one of the things we talk about, like, especially on this podcast. I mean, the focus is very much on, what you're selling, your profit, what you're keeping. So either way you're gaining, but we don't really talk very much about losses, right? So, I mean, people do need to understand that, we do buy stuff. Like, some people did buy Amiibos expecting them to go crazy through the roof. Now they're selling for like $5 under retail. So people are losing out on that. Thankfully, I didn't lose any money on Amiibos, but I didn't buy any to really
I made a little, not as much as I hoped, because I bought in on Amiibos, luckily with a free gift card from work. I'm like, I have no idea what to use this Best Buy gift card on. I'm like, well, Amiibos. And I heard that they were starting to stock the Ness and Marth Amiibos. So I picked those up, but it happened to be the reprint.
Oh.
And I didn't realize there was a difference.
Apparently, if you're in the there's a difference.
Exactly. So some people I sold them on Facebook, and it turned out okay. I made basically the retail money back, because they were hard to find still, even though they were reprints. But it wasn't crazy profitable like it should have been or could have been if they were original, like not changed. If they hadn't made any changes to them, it would have been worth it. But yeah.
Well, in that case, you even turned your Best Buy gift card, which is just
that's
money to a company, into cash. So
it wasn't locked to one company anymore. Yeah,
exactly.
Definitely true. Yep.
Exactly. And then other things like little purchases. I visit a lot at our local microplay here in Kitchener. It's one of my favorite things after work. Every couple of days, I'll just pop in there and I'll just browse through their stuff and see what I can find that they've. I don't want to say mispriced, but underpriced.
Yeah, I was just going to say the same thing. I just picked something up there the other day, actually, which you must have missed.
Or that was a day I wasn't there.
Maybe. It was on the 30th.
I probably wasn't there. I don't think I was there.
That was this past Saturday.
No, I don't go in on weekends, unfortunately.
Okay. So I only go on weekends usually. But anyway, they had free running for Wii.
Which I don't even know what that is. So
$20 game. I actually think it was NJ Retro who suggested that game. He said, if you ever see anything made by Graffiti on the Wii, pick it up. And free running was the one he held up. I'm pretty sure it was him. So I saw it and I'm like, hey, I recognize that game. Looked it up. I'm like, yeah, it's worth about $20. They're selling it for $4.99. So I picked it up, and I was gonna do a deal because they had a day where it's like buy two get one free, but I couldn't find anything that was also $5 that I wanted. Or no, I found one thing which was Fatal Inertia, which you keep talking about, but it had no manual, and there was damage on the artwork on the back.
Oh yeah, yeah. I keep seeing that copy there, and I keep looking at it. I keep hoping it's a different copy.
It's not. But I did get one from there for me, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt your whole thing.
But. No, it's all good. So I find that like a lot of the stuff they screw up on. One Wii, they really misprice a lot of Wii stuff. They don't know. I don't know if how they price their stuff there, but a lot of the stuff is $5, and it's going for $20, $30, $40 online. So that's one thing. PS2. I think it's just a throwaway system. I don't think a lot of people are. I don't think the system is a throwaway system, but I think to them it's a throwaway system.
Yeah.
They're putting some stuff up there, and it's just they don't know what it is, and it's $5. So, a tip for PS2 games is watch for anything made by Age Tech, published by Age Tech. A lot of their games go for quite a bit more money than you would think. And Microplay does put a lot of stuff out there for $5 made by Age Tech. That goes for quite a bit more. One of the games I just picked up was Raw Danger, kind of like the survival series. They had Disaster Report as well on PS2. That's a $20 to $30 game. They had it for $4.99 again. I already had it, but my copy had a little bit of damage, so I was able to replace mine, and I'll sell that on one-off for like maybe $15, and I'll still make more than my money back and upgrade my copy in the process. So
Wicked. And you said, or you had a DS slot on here too. Or
yeah, that was
that's
the other one. Yeah, I was going to bring it up again, but I was
makes sense. So moving on to tip corner, we just share a tip for buying or selling, anything that annoys you or makes deals easier, or where to find deals, etc. Starting with Ryan.
So I guess the easiest tip you can give anybody is just smartphones are great. You're your friend. Just because my tip is, I do most of I don't do rummage sale shopping anymore. I've given up on that. I've had luck once or twice with that, but I don't like getting up early on a Saturday, my day off, the one day I want to sleep in. So
I'm with you.
To me, it's like I've done. So to me, it's just not worth the effort to do it. Because I've had no luck with it. I've had more luck with the thrift stores. So one of the things I can give you is, besides, I guess, checking, besides checking the DVD section and CD section, also check the toy section. And some stores also have a kids DVD section that's off by the toys, not so much by the regular DVDs. And most recently, I found a Nintendo Switch power adapter there, and officially licensed by Nintendo. It was ripped open, but it was still in its bag. So when you open it up, it's still bagged for $5 because someone put it there. It was just
Those with toys, or
with the toys. It was by the books and toys, basically, for kids. I don't know if some clerk put it there or where it was, but it was just right there. So I suggest checking there. I also recommend now you might not be able to find too much video game memorabilia at it, but check the glass aisle at thrift stores. I found two Super Mario Brothers 2 candy jars in there for 50 cents a piece. And I believe they sell for close to $40 on eBay if you could find them.
Yeah.
So I've seen that. Those old. I don't know if you guys have ever seen those old glasses that have like, I don't know what that old art style on it, where you could see like those McDonald's glasses, where it has like Ronald McDonald. I know there's Star Wars cups. In fact, I wish I could. I'll bring up. Let's see if I can send you a picture later here for displaying here, because I don't know exactly what those called, but it's like those late '80s. Like drawn art glasses. I always kind of look for those, and I think those always sell for a pretty decent penny. I always check out the glass out, just a quick walk by to see if you see anything that maybe catches your eye, not your normal pint glass or with Coors Light on it. See if there's always like I've seen that Mario 2 mug before in a pint glass. So that's why I caught my eye when I saw it in a candy jar. Besides just always check the cable box too. The boxes, because they're always like 50 cents to $1 a cable. You will occasionally sometimes you'll find controllers buried in there, or and those are always are key valuables. Like if you ever find consoles, lots of times I find consoles like a GameCube or a PS2 with no cords. So always nice to snag this up just so you can bag it with your console, because no one is going to buy a console. Well, someone might if they have the cords and ready to go, but you will take a cut not having a power cord or an AV cord or something. So I always look to grab, if I ever see the regular plug-in for either a GameCube, a Super Nintendo, a 64, any power supply too, like an NES. Those sell for decent more money. Now I used to be able to say you could sell even like an Xbox 360 once, but those kind of stopped selling for me because I used to have luck selling those for $10 to $15 a piece on eBay. Now I will sit on them because I think the market kind of dried up for the 360. But I would say anything from probably the GameCube PS2 era for cords and everything are always worth picking up still. So
I'd argue that the Xbox 360 power cord market probably dried up because there's so many red ring machines where people are just getting rid of the power cords.
True.
That's my guess.
No, that's a good point.
Especially the original ones, right?
Because
there's like 3 trade.
I was gonna say there's like 3 or 4 different variations to the plug, so that also makes it a little bit harder.
Than the regular one plus the slim. Yeah,
it makes it a little bit harder to sell because people, I think, you have to, like, and when I was selling them on eBay, you have to show the end cap so people know what version they're buying here, and you have to show that it works basically. So, I would say avoid 360 for now, if I could say, for a power supply, because also those things weigh a ton, so you will get killed on shipping too. So even like you said, if you want to say whatever, plus make them pay for shipping, they're looking at $15 to $20 for this cord, basically, when you can walk into your probably normal store and probably buy it for $15 straight up.
It'll be $20 to ship it here. Just ship it.
Yeah. So I would say avoid those for now, because most cables don't weigh anything. But
yeah, cool. I love digging through the cables. Every time I go to a Value Village, I have to go through that.
Yeah.
All right. I'm next. My tip is to always make an offer. You can't make an offer after it's already sold, so make an offer as soon as you see it. If you don't make an offer, you might regret it. I have several things where I'm like, I should have at least made an offer on that. Mostly Kijiji ads. I should have just tried it, right? They're asking $40. I should have at least offered 30. At least, if I was willing to pay it, just try it. That's my tip.
Yeah, absolutely.
Josh?
So mine, I'm gonna go along with my my reputation here, but there are a lot of other ways to kind of make money other than video games. So I mean, my own personal experience, because of my job, I'm able to pick through the garbage. I'm not particularly a garbage man, but I do deal with garbage items. So there's a lot of stuff that gets thrown out. I'm homeless. Yeah, I live in a cardboard box.
Nice cardboard box you have there.
I have a cardboard box garage, and it's full right now. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff, especially in today's society. We're kind of like a what do you want to say? We take it, we use it. If it breaks in any way, we throw it out. We're a disposable economy at this point.
Yeah.
Or disposable society, I should say. And there's a lot of things that get thrown out that just they need a little bit of work or a little bit of fixing, and you can get them and you can fix them, and you can sell them for a profit. So I mean, in the past, we found lawnmowers on the side of the road. Like someone just took it out to the side of to the end of their driveway, dropped it off, and we take it out. It's got a little bit of rust around the dynamo area. You take a wire brush to it, you clean it up, and then instantly it works, and that's $50 right there. And it's literally like 10 minutes of work, and it's $50. I mean, I really can't stress how lawnmowers are great, especially the manual lawnmowers will sell more than the gas-powered ones, because everyone's the eco-friendly mode right now. So they'll pay more for manual labor. And just trinkets. I mean, look around, even Value Villages or garbage. Like find trinkets, collectibles, things that aren't necessarily gaming related, but are unique or are different than things that you've seen. And just going back to Ryan's tip, smartphones are your friend. Look them up, bring it up in your phone, do a quick eBay search, see what it's selling for, and that's a great way to just kind of expand your selling know-how, your selling knowledge, to see what's out there. And even when I was in my job, I would get garbage or cans, like beer bottles and cans, and that was an extra $100 every week or 2 weeks just from that, because people are too lazy to take them back for a refund. So you know what? If you find enough people not willing to take them back, I'll take them back and I'll make the money off of it. So yeah, just use what you can, and also any other interests you have. So if you like music, go through the vinyl records, see if you can find something collectible. If you like electronics, look at other electronics, or books. There's a lot of books out there that if you find complete sets, you can sell them off for a profit. I know, for one, the Harry Potter set, everyone kind of glosses over it now, but if you have a full set of Harry Potter books, that will sell for over $100, and you could probably get them for under $5 each. So you could be $20 to $30 in, all in, and you'd make $100 out of it. So yeah, just use everything that you have. If you're serious about video game collecting or collecting in general, just use whatever instincts you have, whatever knowledge you have to just make a little profit on the side.
Good tip. I like it.
Can I ask you a quick question? This is relating to
Sure.
smartphones here. And I also know I've seen this recently. I haven't seen this until about a month ago, but ever since I saw it about a month ago, I've seen it at least 3 times at thrift stores. Have you seen, or do you guys use a scanner with your smartphone?
I knew you were going to say that.
A barcode scanner?
I don't, but I watch several YouTubers that have been doing it for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
I know with the Amazon app, you could just use your camera and it'll check this barcode and tell you what it's
You
worth.
can do that with eBay, the eBay app as well.
Okay.
You can just scan barcodes and have a look.
The only thing about it is maybe that one might take a little bit longer because I'm seeing these guys, they have it right at the top of their phone. They're going like this barcode.
Yeah, the external ones.
Yeah,
Those,
and
External ones, yeah.
those are for very serious sellers because those scanners aren't cheap. They're like around $100, $150 each.
And I've seen 3 people in the last month do this, and they just go through every single DVD. They're not even like concerned about games. They're just there, and I see they'll fill up a shopping cart full of DVDs.
I've heard people do it with books mostly, but DVDs
books
as well. Fluffy Gamer does it with DVDs. He looks for he doesn't barcode scan them. He knows a lot of out of print DVDs and rare DVDs and buys them. If you watch Fluffy Gamer on YouTube.
I just didn't know those are valuable. That's the thing. I like DVDs. I mean, I don't know.
I think it's hard. It's hard to find the good ones, which is
Yeah.
why they have the machine so they can do it quickly, right?
Mhm.
It's the same with books. A lot of people do the same thing with books, where they'll just scan all the books in a whole like thrift store and find the one that's worth $60. Buy it for $5 or $2 or whatever, and there you go. There's your money made for the day.
Buck a book by me. Buck a DVD. Buck a movie. Buck a CD.
That's why they're there.
Yeah, those are for very serious resellers, I would say.
Yeah.
Unless you're hitting the thrift store every day and that's like your job, I wouldn't say it's worth it.
Well, I do hit it almost every day. It's just it's not my job.
Yeah, I think a lot of those are Bluetooth. I actually picked up a wired USB one barcode scanner at a Goodwill last year, intending to use that for cataloging my games, but never really did because it's too much work to put all the numbers in and everything. But I could technically hook that to my phone with USB and then have a barcode scanner. It basically just works as a keyboard. It scans the number and then types the number for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Interesting. All right, well, we're going to take a quick break.
This is Eric
And Melissa.
from the Mighty Q Dog YouTube channel and the Q Dog House, and we want to take a second to talk to you about Retro Fandango.
Fandango is made up of a couple of Siskel and Ebert wannabes who sometimes play video games. They think their opinion matters and they bring their complaints and rants into every show.
Topics range from how much the NES Classic sucks to how much the SNES Classic sucks. And if you do miss what they have to say, they'll probably repeat it, like a broken record, on the next show.
Every Wednesday, if they get around to posting an episode, you can get your fill of Ramvox and Buried on Mars on iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, or Google Play.
Retro Fandango, for when you have nothing else to listen to.
And we're back.
And you didn't even notice it. And everybody's here, unlike other podcasts. Okay, moving on. So next section is story time. Is any stories you got to tell or any lessons learned, etc., etc. Starting with me. So an update on my gaming budget. I am now $94.70 in the hole on my entire gaming collection. So that's how much my whole collection has cost me out of pocket. I have lots of things to sell, so I'm not worried about making that back, and hopefully some more that I can use to buy more stuff. That's pretty much it. I do have that Ys Origin to sell, which is pretty much that $100, I believe, because that was with shipping and everything was 100. So yeah, it's 94.46 was how much it cost with shipping. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. No one wants to hear me talk anyway. So moving on to Josh.
Me again. All right. So a while ago, I posted a picture, not a picture, a status that I had taken a bunch of movies and TV shows and music CDs and everything like that. And I'd taken it to our local store here called Beat Goes On. I don't know if they have Beat Goes On in the States. Do they, Ryan?
It doesn't sound familiar from, at least in my area.
Okay.
Critter
It could be
website.
regional thing too. It could be regional. So
It could be, and it's like used music and movies and games, basically. And all the stuff that I found that I brought in was all the stuff I found in the garbage, basically. So, again, free stock. And I basically took it all in, and I said, "Here, have a look at it." And they said, "We're not going to be able to get to it today. We'll contact you in about a week, and we'll let you know how much credit you have." I was like, "Oh, geez, a week? That's pretty ridiculous." But okay, I guess. I mean, I don't have anything into them, so like whatever. It's just time at this point. So I didn't hear anything back last week. I still hadn't heard anything, but today I actually went in with my slip and was like, "Hey, what's going on with my stuff?" And they had everything there. They just either forgot about me or hoping I'd forget. I don't know. But anyways, I got some credit for it. They were going to offer me $65 cash or like $87 credit.
Nice.
So, and it wasn't even everything. They only took half the stuff. The rest was still out in
That's
my
what I was
garage.
wondering about. Okay.
Yeah, so a lot of the stuff that I thought was actually decent, I guess they either have overstock of or just not interested, doesn't sell. So they passed on that. So so I took the credit, and this is the same kind of what I talked to you about, Derek, about, you use your Best Buy gift card and you turn that into cash to use anywhere. You're not locked to one space. So I basically walked around the store and found stuff that was worth the credit value in cash, rather. So rather than take $65 cash, I'm sure I could make like closer to $80 some in cash. And so they had 2 copies of Zelda Ocarina of Time. So I'll show that to you guys there. One marked for 40, one marked for 50.
They're too low.
Sorry, up here.
That's all right.
No, you can't see them down here? What are you talking about?
No, I can't.
So one is the gray cart, one is the collector's gold cart. The gold cart they had price. I guess they know the difference. So, so I had to pay an extra like $5 out of pocket to get both of these, but considering my stock was completely free, I only paid $5 for these 2.
Yep.
Which I think is totally worth it. So I will sell those off, and the collector's one goes for even if it goes for the 50 that they wanted, I'm still going to make, if I sell them for these prices, that's $90.
I was going to say for $79.04, you could have got X-Men animated series volumes 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, which they had in stock at their various stores last week, which Ryan wants.
I'm looking. And
I have volume 1 and 2.
I'll save that for my story time.
Ryan's gonna go off.
Yeah, I've actually been watching it for him just to see, because they have 40% off sales various times throughout the year. So,
yeah,
right now they're
$13.99
for each one.
How much is it going for?
$13.99 for each season.
Okay.
For each disc. Not season, right? It's volume. Yeah. Of the 5.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I have volume 1 and 2. I'd like to complete that set too. So
would you? Because they have 1, 2, and 4 still in stock. 3 and 5 are currently reserved for someone that had them set it aside.
I think we just need to get Bill to watch out at his Value Villages, and he'll get them for us for $1 each.
Yeah. All right, continue. Sorry. It was too perfect that you had about $80 credit there, because that's
fair enough. And then other than that, I've got just a lot more like garbage stories. So I don't know how much you guys want to hear about this. So just cut me off anytime.
I don't have much, so go ahead.
I did a video about this recently. So if you're interested in actually seeing more about this, you can check out my YouTube channel, which plugs will be later. But the craziest thing that I found so far that I think is just a box of like old Sega stuff. So Sega Master System games, a Sega Saturn console, a Sega Master System console, some controllers, all the cords, some Game Gear boxes and games and manuals, some Sega Saturn cases and manuals only, no games, unfortunately. So, I mean, just stuff like that. Like, I think that was probably one of my best gaming finds. I also found an Atari Lynx complete in box with about 7 or 8 games inside. The Lynx itself doesn't work, unfortunately, but still, it's pretty cool to have as a display piece. expensive games. I found like Smash Bros. Smash Bros. Melee, Mario Kart Double Dash, Star Foxes, Call of Cthulhu on
Can you
Xbox.
imagine the stuff that's going in the regular trash? Like,
Can you imagine stuff I'm not finding?
that's
Like,
what I
people
mean.
just
Yeah,
want-
like anywhere else, or people just throw in a garbage bag and throw on the curb at the end of the day, or at the end of the week. Like,
yeah. And I'm not at the place where they dump all the time. So all the stuff that's
Yeah.
slipping through my fingers. So people say, oh yeah, well these games, there's a lot out there. But are there really? Because I know how many games actually go in the garbage. You could say, yeah, there were 10,000 copies of something print. But that doesn't mean there's 10,000 copies out there still, especially if they're older stuff. Like the Sega stuff, it was literally a box that said old toys Sega, and it's
yeah, I
just
saw your
thrown in the
thumbnail.
garbage.
I didn't see the video yet. I saw the thumbnail.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So I'm really happy that I was able to grab those and save them from getting destroyed and sent down to Michigan. So
Crazy. That's awesome.
yeah, I found a complete in-box Wii. I mean, you're talking about getting one for free. I found one in the garbage for free. It was in pieces, so I found the box and I found like all the pieces. So I had to gather it all together. I mean, a little bit muddy, like they are sometimes. You wipe them up, you clean it up, you test it, it works fine. So just a lot of stuff like that. And I mean, there's stuff that I find that I don't show you guys. So again, all the movies and music that I'm finding, that all just gets put aside and to get traded in at some point. I have a nice pair of like studio speakers that I found. Someone just threw them out one day. I have a TV in my bedroom that someone threw out. Like it's like a 32-inch Sony flat screen TV. Works perfectly fine.
I picked up an LG on the side of the road a couple months ago. I was just like, it's a TV. Let's see if it works. We need one in our bedroom.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing wrong.
Like I said, people are just like, oh, we don't need this anymore. I got a bigger one. What am I going to do with it? Oh, I could donate it, but that's too much work. Put it at the end of the driveway, right? Or throw in the dumpster that they threw. I had my roof done, so there's shingles in there. Oh, I'll just throw it in there, and then it gets taken away. So I mean, it's absolutely crazy, and I mean, it's terrible to think that like this is what our society has become. But on the bright side, like I'm profiting great off of it. So at the same time, I don't want it to stop.
Yeah, I like fixing stuff. I would love to do that too. I'm jealous of your job for that reason. I wish I could just
Trust
find
me,
stuff.
that's about the best part of my job. The rest of it's not that great. And that's not every day. Like, don't think that every day I'm coming back with something. Like, there was a while when I first started. Yeah, every day I'd come back with, oh, look what I found. I found this. I found, like, the other day I found a bunch of, like, board games, like Complete in Box, like Risk, Monopoly, stuff, like special editions and stuff. So I brought those home. I don't know what I'll do with them yet. But, I mean, I get to a point now where my wife's just like, you need to stop bringing stuff home. We don't have room for this stuff. So...
Yeah, I get that with buying stuff.
So yeah, I mean, it's good, but it's not the glorious job. I think a lot of people envision it to be, but I mean, it's great. It's good for what it is. But yeah, it has its moments. That's exactly.
Cool. All right. Well, you can always mention more later if you think of it. We'll move on to Ryan for now. Ryan, you got anything?
I don't have any real stories, but I'll tell my little X-Men animated series stories again.
Yep.
So one of the stores that actually I said is dried up, but they still have a decent DVD section. And I know I've seen it. They had the one Nintendo series where it's got Captain N, and I guess it has some Mario episodes mixed in there too, that DVD. It's a pretty decent price, but it's not the complete Captain N collection. That one's a pretty valuable DVD if you can find it. But they actually had X-Men 1, 3, and 5, I want to say, for the animated series. So I'd be missing 2 and 4. But they went $10 for it for each of those DVDs, which is, I know, because most of the DVDs in the store are $2. So that's why it's kind of one of those things where it's like, it's a pass. They've been there for over a couple weeks, but I'm always tempted to buy it, but because it's not complete, it's kind of like, and I know it was never released here in the United States, those X-Men animated series. Same with, I believe, Spider-Man, the animated series, was released in Canada, not in the United States, on DVD.
Those would be too screwed.
Yeah, I love those cartoons. I watched them.
Yeah, they're good. I did too.
That was my era of cartoons growing up, basically. I mean, I started with Turtles as my era, and I kind of ended kind of ended a little after those shows ended, because then like Power Rangers came into effect, I guess, or I kind of stopped watching cartoons for a while. But yeah, I would love to have the cartoon shows I grew up as a kid, like Bucky O'Hare on DVD. I would like to buy that series. I would like to buy DuckTales and maybe Chippendales, just the shows I watched growing up, because I still think they kind of hold up, even though some of the animation might not be the best.
Yeah, I've gone back.
They're still fun to watch.
I've gone back and watched DuckTales and loved that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Got my son watching it, although he wasn't enthralled in it. He did like that it was airplanes and the kid and all that stuff, but he wasn't into it as much as I still am.
I gave my nephews, I had originally, before I got as a Christmas gift, I got that Turtle Van DVD case.
Yeah,
I don't know if you saw the complete series. I had the first couple of discs or seasons, if you will, like loose, or not loose, but individually. I gave them to my nephews because they start getting into the new Turtle series, and they wanted more, basically. So their father had to start searching for them, because they dug the new series. So I still think some of the stuff holds up, even though the animation might be up to snuff. But most of today's shows for kids are all like that computer generated, animation. So that's a big turnoff for me. I'd rather just watch, something hand drawn, I guess, if you will.
Or Reboot.
Yeah. That was a good show.
Yeah. I actually went back a little while ago and went through Amazon. They were having a sale on a lot of their DVDs, and I bought like all the cartoons I used to watch when I was a kid. So like DuckTales, Goof Troop, The Tick, just a bunch of them. And I think it was like $100, but I got all of them shipped to me at once.
That's pretty cool.
So yeah, my son's almost a year now, so I'm looking forward to like starting to watch those with him when he's starting to get interested in watching TV and cartoons. So it'll be something entertaining for me to watch too, So
yeah, I think around the time my son was around 2, which was probably too early, but we started watching the new Ninja Turtles together, and it was good, and he liked it, but we kind of dialed it back when he was around 3 and 4, because then he's getting more rough playing.
Yeah.
Trying to copy the, ninja skills. So we had to dial it back.
That's normal boy stuff. We were doing that as kids. Let him be a kid.
Now he's in school.
Let him kick a kid. Let him punch a kid.
Yeah, exactly.
These kids got to learn.
He's gonna learn real good.
Yeah. He's actually the tallest boy in his class, so he might actually hurt
bullying.
Just start watching those Chippendales. That'll calm down.
Yeah, he did watch that a little bit. My wife talked him into that one. Actually, my wife got Under the Umbrella Tree for her birthday from her brother. If anybody saw that show, it might have been Canadian only.
That was a long time ago.
My ear, yeah.
All right, totally off topic, right?
Hey, it's story time. I think that's all completely in topic.
Yeah, it's true. It is. We just went on a huge tangent about DVDs, but that's okay. It is part of story time. It's interesting. I didn't know that Spider-Man one was exclusive here too. That's sad. I added it to my watch list on Beat Goes On.
I mean, I haven't downloaded from the dark web, but
I wasn't going to say that, but
I would still like to own it, though. That's the thing.
Yeah. I don't know if I want to own it. I don't know. I want to see it.
It's my pre-backup for when I find the DVDs. It'll be illegal eventually.
So you can watch it like on your computer on the go, right?
Yeah. Your legal mobile version.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on. Next section is discussion/questions. This has kind of just become how do you track your collection, basically. So we're gonna start off with Josh. Do you track your collections and your purchases and sales?
I don't, unfortunately. For the amount that I sell, you'd think that I would. And yeah, I did think about doing it for a long time, but honestly, I just don't have the time or the motivation to do it. But I kind of have like a running tally in my head, so I know I'm in the negative, and I do need to move up a little bit. So I just need to get my butt in gear and start, putting some more stuff on eBay.
Yeah. That's my problem too. I have all this junk sitting on the table behind me that I have to sell that's left over from Barry.
So that motivation's hard to get sometimes.
Yeah.
And you just look at the mountain of stuff, you're like, not today.
Yeah, which do I pick first? The stuff that I need to take good photos of and is important, or the stuff that's not going to sell as easy.
Yeah, exactly. And how much time you're going to put into it and everything. So
yeah.
Yep, totally. As far as tracking my collection, though, I just started actually the past last week. Actually, I actually buckled down to start tracking my collection. I have an app called GameEye, so it's GAMEYE. It's on Android. I'm not sure if it's on Apple, or iOS. I'm sure it probably is. And the reason I picked this one is because it really helps for tracking my Game Gear collection, because rather than sit there and input every single title in by hand, you can use your camera app and it will actually scan the cart. And I would say 8 to 9 times out of 10, it can look at the cart and know what it is and add it to your collection. So kind of like barcode scanning, but just looking at a cartridge, and it'll just pick it out. So, and it does that for like Game Boy and I think a lot of loose, like portable stuff. It'll just pick it out. So that's what I've been using. It's completely free, which is nice. And
uncommon for video game collection apps. Most of them aren't free.
Yeah, which I went through a bunch and I just was not happy with them. There's no ads or anything in it either, which is great. And I like it because it also keeps like a running tally of how many games you have and what they're all worth. So like you can get like a total value of your collection or a specific library.
That's crazy.
So that's kind of fun.
Because I have another one that I use. I can't remember what it's called now, but it doesn't do values at all, and it kind of bothers me. It's Sorted Apps game collection.
Okay. And I think I saw a couple, and they didn't have that feature, and that's one of the ones I was really interested in knowing, just to keep tabs on like what's actually worth stuff. It's not perfect. I mean, there's still a couple of bugs. There's some games it doesn't recognize. It's like collector's editions or limited editions and things like that. It won't pick it up.
That's not bad.
But I mean, it's still for the most part it has all of them there. So that's the one I've been using.
Cool. And you an interesting note. Yeah. So any fun statistics is the lead up to that.
I was waiting for the lead up question, so it doesn't look like I'm dominating the conversation here. But my interesting statistics. So my Vita collection, PlayStation Vita, is actually one of my smallest collections. And I don't want to say it's the smallest, but it's one of the smallest, probably third or fourth, and yet it's the second most valuable value-wise, like dollar-wise overall for my entire collection, which I think is pretty interesting. So
that is, yeah.
Like my PlayStation 4, I think I have my Xbox 360 and PlayStation 4. I have the most games for. So those ones are obviously like they're shooting up. And actually, my Vita collection is worth more than my Xbox One, obviously. My PlayStation 4 collection edges out my Vita collection just barely, but I have 3 times as many games for it. So the sheer volume of games is what offsets that. So.
Because I guess Vita games just hold their value. Whereas Xbox One or PS4, the game comes out, the value goes up, right? Is up high, it starts dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping, and it just tapers off. Whereas the Vita seems to be holding longer.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, like, I really find the Vita really fun to collect for, mostly because it's hard. You're not gonna find a lot of games for it. So, like at swaps, I'm always looking around and having fun, trying to see what's out there and try to get a good deal on it. And,
I got a good deal on my Vita, and I have nothing to play on it. Essentially, I have Mod Nation Razors, and I think I just picked up Little Big Planet not long ago. But I got the Vita itself for $40 with a bunch of games, and I never play it because I just can't find anything to play.
You're missing out. There's a lot of good games out there.
I don't like RPGs, which is one problem.
I'm not an RPG guy either. Okay. There's a lot of good action stuff out there though. So
all right, you send me a list.
Okay. And as far as total games, I'm around the 1,200 mark. So
nice,
which is pretty impressive. I didn't think I had that many, but again, just going over, adding all my games in the last week or so, that's the number. I'm just under officially on my app, but I know that I have my Atari Lynx stuff I haven't put in yet. So
yeah, just count the ones you have for sale anyway. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Well, then I'm 1,300.
Yeah. Cool. Interesting. All right, Ryan, do you track your purchases and sales at all?
I do, and I guess I pay for my applications. I use several of the collector ones. They helped. They do help. They cost about $5 a piece, but I had gift cards to use them for, Apple iTunes cards, and I don't buy music very often on my iTunes. I'd rather just listen to my music, I guess, on YouTube, or buy the real CD as opposed to downloading it digitally to my phone. So I will cash in those iTunes cards on maybe an application like the NES Collector, because that's how I bought mine. I got them for people throw, if they don't know what to get you, they'll just get you like an iTunes card or something. So that's how I bought my apps for those. Now they give you like a rough estimated price. They did help. I have a complete North American loose N64 collection.
Nice.
And I didn't start off with these applications and tracking. It was mostly having to look online and see, before smartphones, because I've been collecting probably since 2002, I want to say, because that's when I got my first job. And with my first paycheck, I bought my NES, rebought the NES. And I was buying games slowly until about 2011 when the giant boom happened, and I could no longer find the games I was finding for $4 a piece for $4 a piece. The price started jumping up from. So like that, then I started discovering these applications. At first, like I said, like it helps because my two main goals always kind of in life when I started collecting was I wanted complete N64 collection loose. It doesn't matter. I can't play up with the box basically. And I think the cover project is just fine in my opinion. And same thing with the NES, because those two consoles I had the most nostalgia for. So, and I never had many games as a kid growing up. So it was always kind of a dream of mine that one day when I had money, I would buy all these games basically. But granted, those aren't the only two consoles I collect for. The other consoles I collect for basically it's almost everything from the NES going forward, with the exception of maybe like an Atari Jaguar or something, or a Neo Geo, something ridiculous. 3DO, yeah.
I think you should get the Game Gear collection. I think that's where it's at.
I'll let you handle that one for a while. I wasn't really a big portable gamer growing up, but basically, so with the Genesis, Super Nintendo, I'm not going for a complete collection. I'm just going, if there's a game that I see that looks interesting, I'll pick it up. Same thing with PlayStation, Dreamcast, anything like that, basically. So I really don't track those so much. I mean, at least I do, but it's not really like I'm like pursuing crossing stuff off, basically. I know I need to go back and reorganize everything. Everything's kind of a total mess, but I'm also probably in the process of moving. So when that officially happens, I will reorganize everything and try to calculate. I know I don't have too many doubles. The doubles I do have are all set aside for sale purposes or trade purposes. Anytime someone says, "Hey, what do you get for trade?" then I can just go straight to my trade pile. But as for anything, I don't have anything besides the applications to track my collection. Okay. And as for, I guess, anything interesting since completing my N64 collection, I've kind of started looking into maybe now. It's not something that I'm heavily pursuing, but like the games that weren't released in the United States or North America, if you will, games that were released maybe just Japan only, because now there's a lot of reproductions being made that are English translated. And I'm only really looking right now at the ones, I'm not looking to get all of them, but just the ones that are seen as games that North America missed out on. They're pretty interesting. Like Wonder Project 2, J2 is a game I'm looking at right now for reproduction. And even though I already own it, and it's perfectly playable, because the game I think was to come out in North America, but was canceled at the last minute, is Sin and Punishment. It's just you have to get past the menu screen, which is all in Japanese. I would like to know what everything is on the screen, basically, that I'm seeing. But most of the game, there's English voice actors. Even like the stat screen, when you start playing the game, is all in English.
Get bonus.
Get bonus. Yeah, exactly. So I would like, because it is fun, and I really like the Wii sequel. So I kind of want to just have that where I could read everything on the screen. And there's several other games I'm eyeing up to for these reproductions at the moment. So
Cool.
Interesting. Okay, cool. You have a total at all or not? Not a big deal if you don't, but
I don't.
they're all separate apps, and you don't have everything in the app, so it makes sense.
Yeah, and like I said, like I don't have an app for PS2 or anything like that. So that's it's high. I've been collecting since 2002, so it's up there. So
cool. All right. On to me. I already talked about everything. I've already said it 100 times, but I did just recently try the Collectors app, CLZ Games on Android, and it seems pretty good for what it is. It's a free trial, lets you add 100 games to try it out, and I enjoyed using it so far to add that 100 games because I did mostly barcode-based games. I tried a couple that weren't just to see how good the search in the database were, and it's not really bad at all. It seems pretty good, slightly better than what I have in the sorted apps game, but the price of $18.95 is just really deterring me from wanting to buy that. And even worse is the $18.95 doesn't include some of the features they have, like a desktop app, which I know Dean really likes, the desktop version. I think he primarily used the desktop version for his entire collection of figures and stuff. But I don't know, $18.95 for just to track my games. I already bought the sorted apps one, but it doesn't do game values, and it crashes, or it used to crash on me all the time. I haven't used it recently, and my games in it just are completely out of date. I've sold off some, and I might as well start from scratch, basically. Yeah. And then its database on the sorted apps is just messy. Like, you go to scan a game, and you'll have 10 of the same game. It's like, I don't know which one to pick. The Collectors app has something similar, but it tells you their variants, right? It tells you, like, one's North American, one's this, one's... I don't think it tells... I didn't see any that were Collector's editions, but still, it gives you the variants and gives you more information on where it's from, whereas the sorted apps one was not that clear. And there are a lot of duplicates because it looks like it's a mostly user-submitted database on sorted apps. So I don't know if it's worth buying or not. I may just hold off until I get more cash in the Google Rewards money.
Yep.
If you have an Android, you can use Google Rewards to answer surveys about places you shop and things like that, and they'll give you money for answering those questions. Usually like 10 to 30 cents per survey, but yeah.
Not to mention this YouTube money you're gonna be making with this channel of yours.
Yeah, I don't put ads on anything. So no money. I thought I would not put ads on anything until I actually have content worth watching, and that hasn't happened yet. So, the next section here is listener questions. We did not get any questions tweeted to us.
We just got one from Mighty Two Dorks.
What? Oh, I'm glad you're watching because I wasn't. I had my window open on our chat. All right, let me get this. Mighty Q Dog's question is, when is the best time of day to go thrifting? What about a day of week? It's a good one.
Well, let the thrift master go here.
Yeah, there you go, Ryan. You go ahead.
I found, at least from my experience, you have to find certain stores I think had better days. There's the place that I call the Honey Hole that Musty, when he comes up to, his sister lives fairly close to where I live. There's a Goodwill very close to her house. That best day always seemed to be Tuesday for that store. Now there's no discount on that day, but for some reason that store always got hit up. You just got to hit it up every day. You have to hit up the stores in your general area. You will see a pattern, basically. I found it was probably, I couldn't tell you what time of the day. I would always just hit it up probably after work. I don't know. I can't say what's called when they put out because it's all sporadic now. So I don't think going the beginning of the day is a thing because they're constantly getting stuff and inventory and pricing throughout the day. And once they fill up a cart, it gets pushed out. It's not something, I would say end of the day is terrible. So because there's nothing you can put out at the end of the day, but I would say maybe either your lunch break, or actually, no, probably the best time is if you don't work like a certain during the day, like Monday through Friday work day. If you go between probably like 2 and 3 o'clock, right before people get out of work, you might have a really good shot of getting something. I found a stack of Super Nintendo games before, and it was like at probably around 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, or I think it's right in that gap maybe between people's lunch breaks and before the end of their work day. So maybe if you could take a really late lunch, that's me a suggestion. Otherwise, I've always had somewhat luck right after work too. That 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. If you go, you might see that pattern like I did from that one store where Tuesdays just really seem to be the day where maybe I know some Goodwills. I don't think every thrift store, because never everyone's a franchise. They get stuff sent to their stores too to help keep their stores full of stock. And I think Tuesdays, at least at this store, was their drop-off day. And I also think Tuesday was a really good day because my theory was, at least during the summertime from this store, was people, have their rummage sales on Saturdays and Sundays. So that if whatever didn't sell at their store, at the rummage sale, they take it on Monday, and then more likely stuff gets organized, sorted, and then put out on Tuesday. That was also my theory going into why Tuesdays were the best day, at least for this store. Now, I can't swear by every store, but at least I think that this location, was the main reason why it has probably a decent amount of rummage sales through the summer there. So that was just my theory why Tuesdays were probably the best day.
Interesting. Good tips.
Yeah, it's really about like finding what days are good in your own particular area, right? So
yeah, I was gonna say I went into the St. Jacobs Value Village several months ago now, and I was just curious because I forget what it was. I think it was like I went there one day and noticed there was nothing new, so I asked one employee, or maybe she even mentioned, I can't remember, but they said that they actually do their sorting and pricing Tuesday to Saturday at that location. So that was good information to have. They know that there's no point in going on Sunday or Monday. They're pretty much never going to be anything new. So you know not to waste your time going on one of those days. So, I mean, even Tuesday might be not great compared to a Wednesday where they've gotten more into the thick of it, right?
Yeah.
So, good information to have, and you can just ask them and they might just tell you.
Yeah, they'll just tell you.
You could probably ask them the same thing as Ryan was saying too, with if they get shipments from other places, they could tell you when that usually comes in, you could probably get a little ahead of the game that way. Just asking somebody that works there.
Especially if it's a franchise thrift store, I would say for sure.
Yeah.
I was gonna say some of the best success I've had of happy days. So like rainy days, snowy days, ice days, days where a lot of people don't want to go out. A lot of people are staying home. That's the day I'll go out to the thrift because I know a lot of people aren't gonna be out there. So that's when I found like a Dreamcast. Derek, I'm sure you know there's a lot of sharks in the area, a lot of resellers in the Kid area. And if there's anything good out, it's going to be grabbed within minutes almost. And I went out during an ice storm and to the Value Village that was still open. And yeah, I found a Dreamcast just sitting on the shelf for $10.
That's crazy, especially around here.
Yeah.
There's just so many. I mean, think about it. Me and you both live in this area, and CJR lives in this area. So
yeah,
that alone, plus all the stores and all the people that sell to the stores, plus all the random people you don't expect to be a reseller, like that one older Indian guy that I always see.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, you know what? I don't know if you're going to keep this in the podcast, but he actually moved to Mississauga, and he still drives out here to check their stores.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. No, I'll leave
every
it
once in a while. Because I put a Super Nintendo up on Kijiji, and it kind of just sat around for like a month. I had a ton of offers. If everyone's just like, oh, I'll give you $30-$40 for it. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
And finally this guy just answered. He's like, yeah, I'll take it. And he showed up, and it was that old Indian guy that came to my house.
That's funny.
And bought it.
He's
going to take it to Mississauga, and he's going to sell it for more.
For sure, yeah. Makes sense. Why not? It leads to your house too.
Yeah. So I recognized him, and I just said, oh, I don't see you around the thrift stores. So he recognizes me. Like we've seen each other in stores enough that we know who each other are. And I've gotten to the point, like if I walk into see him there, I'll just walk out because I know there's no point. I'll try to beat him to the next one, So
I remember what his name was in my spreadsheet because he always emails with Kijiji with a different name, but it's not there. I was gonna say how many things like I've bought or sold from him because it's been a lot. But
Yeah. Yeah. I bought from him a couple times.
Yeah, I've sold to him a lot. I've actually ran into him in a store too, in a game store, doing trade-ins.
He goes to CJR's house all the time.
Oh, really?
It's funny. Well, last time I was at CJR's place, we were talking about the resellers that come, and he's just like, he just put a bunch of stuff up. He's like, yeah, I got this guy coming. He every time I put up a lot of stuff, he's like, what else do you have? And he'll literally just come and buy almost everything. So it's got to be that guy, right? So
yeah, that's funny. I don't remember what his name's in his email, but it doesn't matter. No one else cares. Interesting.
The local gossip of
exactly right. He's always in the thrift stores.
He's everywhere.
Okay. So Josh, do you have any other answers to this or not? The best time to go and day of the week?
No, just like I said, if you go on a day when no one's around or no one wants to go,
the bad weather. That's a good point
to
because we often go thrifting when it's nice weather.
Yeah, exactly. That's why everyone wants to go out, right? So pick the times that people aren't going to be out. Like even now coming up, Oktoberfest is coming up soon here, which is like a big German beer drinking festival. It obviously German origins, we're a German town, so like I said, a lot of people are going to be Oktoberfesting. That's a good time to hit the thrift stores. Like, if people are going to be at your local fair, a lot of people aren't going to be at the thrift store. So, I mean,
concerts or anything like that too. Yeah.
Yeah, big concerts coming up. No one's going to thrift stores. Go check it out. So
I'm gonna use that next huge snowstorm. I'm like, honey, I'm going to the thrift store.
Even Ryan, you said even when you came up for Barrie Game Exchange, like before you came to the event, I don't know if you went to like Value Village or whatever, you go and check other areas before you came to the swap or whatever.
Yeah,
that's a great tip to do. Like a lot of people are not. They're like, oh, I'm gonna go buy games. Why would I go look for games at Value Village?
Yeah,
like that. There's a good opportunity right there. Just find opportunities where a lot of people or a majority of people are going to be attracted to another event, and go the opposite direction, right? So,
yeah, that's good.
No, right. I'm planning on doing that when I believe me and Dean fly in the same day on Thursday for Portland. We're gonna get a rental car, and I believe that's the plan for that day. Is maybe hit a few stores, basically, drive around Portland, see if we can find something.
Well, I know what we're all gonna do when we go to Chicago.
That's fine. That's fine. You stay an hour and a half south of me. That's perfectly fine.
No problem. I'm not planning on leaving that town. I probably won't leave like a 20 block square radius. All right. So since there weren't many viewer questions, we have a couple we're going to just take a look at that have come up when in talking randomly to other people. So one thing is on eBay, do you sell as fixed price or auction? Myself, I always sell fixed price. I never find that, or I've never done an auction yet. I just was about to do one, and then I regretted it and changed it to a fixed price, and it sold. So what do you guys think?
I almost always do auction, with the exception of a couple things that maybe like a power supply or something like that, where I know I can get that price for something. I almost always do auction, and I have it in a price range where I think it's going to hit. I won't do the 1 penny, start at 1 penny or $1, because I have actually lost on that before for something where I thought I probably could have got $10 for it. And just it maybe was a bad time of day for it. Here's a little eBay tip for at least I've said it, I believe I said it before. I won't do my auctions ending on Monday through Thursday at all. Friday is payday, so I will try to set at least for my time zone. Maybe end of the day where someone gets home from work, or they might have some extra pocket change where they're like, hey, I could buy this on eBay. I like to do Fridays or Sundays when my auction ends. And that's because I think most people are also out having a good time on Saturday. This is just in my head because I've won on eBay where I think I've gotten way below the auction price because this thing was ending on a Saturday night where I think most people probably aren't paying attention because this is their one day they go out of the week, basically maybe to get dinner, and they just forget about it, or they're spending money elsewhere. But Friday they have money in their pocket, and Sunday nights most people are home, at least So I always like to have mine and on Friday nights or Sunday nights, and they're almost always auctions. So I've only lost a couple times, but that's why I don't do the $1 whatever. I will start if it's something I think it's going to hit $20. I will start at 10. Especially if it's like something let's just say I bought a PS2 game it's probably about a $20 game. 20 maybe whatever. I'll start at that $10 price, and most likely you'll see it climb, throughout. You won't get any auctions. I also like to set it up for a week so you can get most people on it, time to watch on it basically, as opposed to just doing a quick one day, sale. Give as much time so most people can see it, and then also start it not as so low price, but like somewhere in between, basically. Like that, if it's like a $20-$25 game, start it at 10, and you'll watch it climb, basically. And more likely you'll get that price. I think I've had most time with my fixed auction prices, they'll just sit and sit and sit and sit. Even if I mark it, like if let's just say it's a $20 game and I mark it at $18, it'll sit and sit and sit and not sell. So, that's just my experience, basically. So
okay, no, it's good. I wonder if the difference between fixed price and auction also comes into or has something to do with us being in Canada. We have less eyes on it, and shipping is more expensive. So I've always wondered if it would be different if we were selling in the States.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I really think it is. So Ryan, do you find that you make more money when you sell it as auction versus fixed price? I know, like, aside from actually selling it, like you were saying.
I've had significant luck, I guess, maybe with selling, where I think you'll see people get in that bidding war and they'll overspend basically. Where like the last couple hours, you'll see something just jump, like where like you're like, okay, I reached that $20 quote, and it keeps going because I think someone doesn't want to lose out on it. With it something being maybe a very desirable game, I guess, if you will. Like I said, I don't. What's called? I will also try to maybe increase the free shipping. The reason why is for something light, not doing something heavy free shipping, but let's just say something like a PS2 game again, or a PS1 game. These things aren't very heavy, so I can, at least if I want, I could put it in either a bubble wrap or 2 bubble wraps, and I feel as if it will be well protected, or even a light box. With eBay, there is a discount with using UP or the United States Postal Service. So even what's it called? Like if I take the hit, sometimes you'll make them pay, and you'll still get what's called you'll get, because you're gonna still have to pay to ship it, regardless if they pay, because they paid for a total. It then comes out of your PayPal account, so you're paying still for it. Yeah. The shipping item. But if I do the free shipping, you will see also probably more action going on it. But when it's something that light, it's only going to cost you, at least from my experience, only a few dollars, and then you'll even get that little cutback discount on it too. So I'm willing to eat that $1 or $2 if it gets me another $10 on my auction.
Yeah, so good. I'm pretty much the same as Derek. Like I've only ever sold fixed price by it now. Again, I think we're in Canada, and
our shipping's more expensive here too.
Yeah, our shipping absolutely sucks.
If I put a PS2 game in an envelope, a padded envelope, I can get that to go for $2.03 as letter mail if it's under 100 grams, which most games in the manual are not under 100 grams. If there's no manual, then it will be under. But otherwise, it'll bump it up to $3.33 to ship it.
So here's another question for you guys. So do you guys lie about your shipping weight?
We can't. They weigh it right there.
Yeah.
Even if you pre-pack it and just have the mailman pick it up?
I can't do that. I've never got a mailman pick. I guess you can maybe if you have a business or something like that. I think Josh was talking about that recently.
my thing is because I don't have a weighted scale, to check to get an actual price. So what I do is let's just say it's a PS2 game again. I sold as an example. I will just quick Google search how much does a normal PS2 game weigh. And that's my price basically. I might actually add what's called an extra ounce just to calculate for the either box or padded envelope, just whatever, make sure it's kind of general area. But my other way of coming with an estimated weight scale, weight is I actually I'll give you an example. So I shipped something to Jared in New Zealand. Retro Revolutions. I shipped them a package. I don't have a scale, and it was a pretty heavy box. So the way I did it is I weighed myself. I have a weight scale where I can weigh yourself. So I see how much I weigh, get off the scale, put the box to my chest, and get on the scale to get an estimated price. And
it's called, that's a cheap kitchen scale at a thrift store.
And then what's called cross off the weight. Basically, there's my price. Basically, it might not be accurate, but it's close to it. And then I've never, in my experience, knock on wood, had anything ever get back or extra charge to me basically for shipping something either over or under, or actually never overweight. It's always a little under. So
yeah, I've watched or I listened to a podcast called Scavenger Life where they're eBay sellers, and they've talked about having a bill come in for something like that where they've had people they have callers call in all the time, and they've had people who call in and say, I got charged because I weighed it too little and it actually came in higher, so they had to pay out of pocket for the rest. But I don't think it's very common. And it's probably because they're high shippers too. They ship a lot of stuff. Yeah. And another thing I wanted to say, just based on what you were saying, was in Canada here, if I put anything in a box, it becomes $12.65 to ship it. No matter what it is, if it goes in a box, that's the minimum.
Yeah. For eBay, I put everything. Well, if I can, I'll just put in a bubble mailer and hope that it goes under. Anything like $20 and above, I put tracking on it just because, for peace of mind, it doesn't cost that much more because I'm over the 100 grams anyway. So like whatever, I'm not going to get letter mail. So
with the pre-printed in the United States, just for anyone who's listening, for selling on eBay, if you calculate, if you do the pre-printed through eBay for United States, you automatically get your tracking number. It's included with the thing. But I believe going to the Postal Service and then buying it there, they will charge you like the additional 40 or 60 cents for it or something like that.
Interesting.
Yeah,
we should be a good.
I don't think we have that option here.
No,
I don't
I've
think
never
we
done
do.
a shipping label through PayPal. I think you can actually do that now with Canada Post. I had seen that they made some new partnership. I haven't checked it. I haven't tried it. I don't really want to.
That's the only way I do it. I only ship through PayPal.
Okay.
So yeah, the same thing. Just you measure, you measure it. You measure and weigh. You wager it.
Yeah.
New terms.
Yeah, I like it.
And then send it off. Yeah, I put tracking on everything over $20, and I don't pay for shipping at all. Like I always put that cost to the buyer.
Yeah, me too.
I'm not willing to take that chance of taking a hit. I made a few mistakes when I first started on eBay, and I took a big hit. And I also limit my selling to like North America, so I don't ship overseas to Europe or.
I only list mine in Canada. If it goes for like 2 months and hasn't sold in Canada, I'll put it in the States too. I've only done that 3 times.
I only do US only, just because of shipping. Most of the time, because I said like I'll do the free shipping because and anything out of the United States is going to cost me. So,
yeah.
Well, see, you can set your options. So like if you sell for Canada or the US and you want to sell to the other, there is a second shipping option. So if you select the international shipping, then you can say, I'll do free shipping in Canada or I'll do free shipping in the US. But then if it goes international shipping, so going to the other side of the border, then you can actually charge a shipping cost. So it just widens your market that much more. Maybe not for the US. I mean, US, you have most of the market there, but at least for us here in Canada, I do ship to the US just because it's a bigger market. And I'll bump my shipping price up a couple of bucks just to, set the cost a little bit better in my favor. And then
you may not have known, Josh, and I just discovered discovered this week when calculating my spreadsheet of my PayPal costs. I was trying to figure out how PayPal does their calculation because it never worked out, never made sense before. It wasn't a percentage. I discovered through their website that it's actually a percentage, 29%. No, sorry. Yeah, 29% plus 30 cents flat. But
Interesting.
what I recently discovered that's even more interesting is if you sell from Canada to the States, PayPal actually charges you 37%. Sorry, 3.7%. My mistake.
I was going to say, that's pretty
3.9%,
steep.
3.9% or 3.7% if you sell to the US through
Okay.
PayPal. They take 3.7 instead of 2.9 just because you're selling to the US. So I think it's for the currency conversion, basically.
Yeah.
They don't say that, but I suspect that's their excuse.
Yeah.
I just recently discovered that anyway. I thought it'd be interesting, especially for you having sold to the US. So that's another extra little hidden cost you have in selling to the US.
Yeah, honestly, I take whatever I can get for it. The way I look at it is, how much would I get for it here? So like if I'm going to get something for $20 here, I'd get $20 for it. I'll put it on eBay for 25, right? And then hopefully that $5 difference will be the shipping fees will be taken out of that, and whatever they take anyway. Even if I make a little under. So I was selling at a convention, I would lose a little bit of money anyway because I'd be giving deals.
Mhm.
So the little bit I'm losing on fees, I'm not concerned about that. So
Yeah. Most of the things that I price, I check what it's going for on eBay and go at the lowest or below the lowest price is what I usually do because I want it gone quick. There's times where I'll go a little higher because I see that theirs is in worse condition, like the next lowest cost is in worse condition or not complete or whatever else. So generally I try and price lower than the lowest, which I've heard people say that affects the overall cost in the market because I'm bringing it down. That means the next person brings it down, the next person brings it down, but I'm just one person and I'm not selling the whole shitload of stuff.
if people really want to blame you for that, they can go right ahead.
Yeah, that one copy of Raiden 4 sealed that I sold too cheap, whatever.
Oh, how much did you sell it for?
70, I think it was.
Okay. I have a sealed copy as well. I haven't sold it. But.
Yeah, I remember we talked about that one a while ago. I actually had two sealed. Yeah, I sold two sealed copies on eBay. One of them I sold for $60. Actually, both of them I sold for $60. One was to the States, one was to Canada.
Okay. Yeah, that seems a little low.
Yeah, and before that, I think the going rate was 75.
Yeah, I think it's gone up.
So I sold two of them. I forgot I had sold two.
I actually just bought a
sealed with a rip in it, but it was still sealed.
It's still sealed, yeah. I just bought an open copy of Raiden 4 to keep for myself, so I don't
saw
have to
that. I saw that ad, and I almost bought it too. But he actually bumped his price up at one time too.
Oh, he bumped it down when I jumped on it. So
yeah,
he had it for 40 for both, and then he brought it down to 30 for both.
Yeah, prior to that it was listed for 30 for both, then 35.
Oh, I got it for 30. So
yeah, so I was gonna offer him 20.
I was happy. I just wanted Raiders Fight It.
Yeah, it took a long time to find that. Sorry, we're way off on another tangent, but I took a long time to find Raiders Fighters.
You can always cut this out if you don't want it in. That's fine.
No, I never cut things out. Why don't I have Raiden Fighters Aces in here? Damn it! There it is. Raiden Fighter Aces. Sorry, I bought it at Good Time Games for $33.89 or credit, so not terrible.
Not terrible.
All right, we're way off on the topic. Yeah, so we can skip these next questions. We're getting pretty long here already. We went pretty long considering we didn't have the viewer questions. I'm just gonna move those viewer questions over.
Longer the better, man. I love long podcasts because I drive a truck, and so I just like the longer the podcast, the better my day is.
I worry that some people don't love long podcasts and don't listen at 1.5 times like I do.
Too bad.
Like when Retro Fandango comes out and they're like the 3-hour podcast, I'm like, this is my day. Like that's perfect.
half my day. I don't have to go scrounging around for more podcasts.
Yeah, exactly.
We're already over 2 hours. Let's trim it down and get going now. So moving on. Suggested content is our next section. This is the area where we just recommend a podcast, channel, YouTube, anything you think other people should check out and why. We start off with Ryan.
All right, I'm going to say 2 people here to check out. I'm going to give a club member some love. I think he's still somewhat fairly new. He goes Josh, Frantic Society. I want to give him some love. He's kind of got a YouTube channel where it's like a mix mash of everything. Where he's got his own little podcast on there, and he's got like a little bit of thoughts and everything. And he seems like he's just trying to figure out his channel, and I kind of like what he's got going on, and hopefully he can. I could see there. It's just I think he's just a matter of still trying to figure out what he wants to do on his channel, and I think the guy should get some more love basically coming his way. So he goes by @Frantic Society on Twitter, and his YouTube channel is just Frantic. He's only got 25 subscribers, so just like to help him out a little bit more. And then there's a non-club member, like for people to check out. He's I think his content is very, very well done. But he doesn't get many views every week. The club probably will like this guy because he's a big Nintendo fan. So anyone who's not a Nintendo fan might not like this guy. But I think how I discovered him is he had a channel going for a while previously before this one, where he did videos called the Definitive 50. And it really was a top. He started off with a top 50 Super Nintendo list, and then he did GameCube and then Nintendo 64, and that's how I stumbled upon him. I was watching like the final 10 go down because he was doing it one video a week where he was releasing his thoughts, at least where he would think what this is like the best 50 games for this console. And I thought for the longest time that he stopped making videos. But I see I recently rediscovered that he has another channel just called he goes by Noobs, which is NEWBS. Yeah, he's mostly just discussion pieces kind of now, or about video games. But I still think his content's good. I really recommend people go check out his Definitive 50 series. Well, like it's the Super Nintendo, the GameCube, and the 64. I thought they were really well done. Made me a fan of his channel, and I'm glad actually he's still doing content. So those are the two people I recommend for this episode.
Cool. I wrote down the Noobs guy and Definitive 50. All right, moving on to me. Okay, so I'd like to recommend Co-Optimus, which is co-optimus optimus.com. It's a kind of like a gaming news site, but they focus primarily on co-op games, couch co-op, online co-op, both, everything. They have a pretty big database of co-op games with details about whether it's online co-op or couch co-op. The database isn't complete, so there's a lot of games that aren't in there, which kind of sucks, but it's still the best list I've ever seen with a lot of detail of which modes of co-op are supported, which is hard to find in a lot of games. So it's really good. They also have a YouTube channel. I think they also have a podcast. It's a site I've been checking out here and there for years now, and I think it's pretty good.
Bookmark that.
Josh.
I love co-op games, so I'll have to check them out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna actually give a huge shout out for PPG, Party Play Gaming. I think they had a really great Barry Game Exchange video that got really overlooked. But Fraser put a lot of work into that video, and I think it deserves a lot more love. And their channel overall is great, and I think they definitely need to get some more subscribers over there. So I think they rebranded because they used to be Party Play Gaming, and now they're just PPG.
They did.
I'm not sure if they started a new channel or not because their subscriber count seems very low.
Yep, he did.
Okay, that would explain it then.
I think he used to do a lot of stuff where friends came over and it was actually party playing. Whereas now I think it's less of people coming over and just him, but he still wants to be known as PPG because that's what they're that's
what they're known for.
There, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But their production and their graphics is crazy good. His wife is
top notch
advertising, and that shows.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, I think they deserve a lot more love. So go check out PPG.
Awesome. I agree. Okay, so next thing is Cartridge Call Game of the Month. The game of the month for October is Super Castlevania 4, and the portable game is Resident Evil Revelations on 3DS. Who's playing? Starting with me. I am not playing either one. I am not a Castlevania person, and I am not a Resident Evil person. That's where that ends for me.
Are you at least a horror fan or a survival game horror fan?
Not at all.
Too spooky? You don't like being spooked?
I hate horror movies because they always bother me. It's like, why would you do that? That kind of thing. Also, gore for the sake of gore type things. But In terms of games, I don't enjoy being scared, and I don't enjoy being forced into that type of story. You know what I mean? Like I don't enjoy feeling like I walked here, and once I reached this point, this event was triggered. That in any game bothers me. I know most people aren't like that because they don't mind their game being like a movie, but I absolutely hate it. It just feels too forced to me. Yeah. And then Castlevania, I've never really played a Castlevania game, but I think I've tried a couple, but I'm not good at platforming, and it's just not my cup of tea. So
what do you play then?
I like playing short games. I like playing puzzle games. I like playing multiplayer games. I like playing. I'm dying to play some PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds right now. I have my cousin and my friends messaging me right now, and I also just recently bought Just Cause 3 on PC as well. So that's what took up all my time the other day. Actually, I was at home sick from work, and I played pretty much all day. That was my resting.
Sounds like a good rest.
Yeah, it was great. So next is Josh. Are you playing in either of these games?
I'm surprised by this question, actually, because the last time I looked at the outline, it was talking about Mega Man 2, and now we're talking about Super Castlevania.
Yes, I messed up. I had September's games in there still.
My answer all for Mega Man 2, and then, yeah, you're right. It's actually Super Castlevania. So, no, actually, I'm not playing Super Castlevania. Not yet. I did get the Super Nintendo Classic, so I'm planning to play on that, probably. So we'll see how it goes. I do like hard platformers. I'm playing through Cuphead right now, which is ridiculous. So I'm up there with my platformers. And so Castlevania, I'm not sure how it will fit. I've never played a Castlevania before, so we'll see how it goes. As far as Resident Evil Revelations, no, I'm not playing it. I don't even have that game. But I'm not a huge Resident Evil fan, so I probably will skip on that one.
Fair enough. I can't call you up for skipping either one. And Ryan?
I am playing Super Castlevania 4 at the moment, and I am planning on playing Resident Evil Revelations. I don't have it for the 3DS, but I have it for the Wii U. Granted, it's not portable, but it's the same game. It's prettier. It's a prettier version.
Yeah.
And, analog sticks with it, and it's got a tablet, so that's kind of portable. So I will be playing it probably on my Wii U after I beat Super Castlevania 4, which isn't very long. I know there's 11 stages, and last night I'm just doing passwords because I'm playing on original hardware. This is supposedly the easiest of all the rest of all the Castlevanias, because you can swing your whip in any direction. There's a longer whip. It seems generally easier too from me playing it. The platforming is a little bit, maybe a little bit tighter than normal too. But I'm really enjoying playing it right now. I've been playing a couple levels a night and then just saving where I go from there. I'm just kind of taking it in. I'll give an example. Level 5 was very short. Within first playthrough, it was 3 minutes long to beat that level. But the next level was the longest level from what I've seen in the game. Getting a little nerve-wracking, burning up lives because there's usually 3 stages per level. And that one was fairly long, and I was lucky to find a 1-up that was regenerate. So anytime you died at the end of stage 6, basically, if you can make it right before the boss fight, you can get that 1-up back. So on my last life with little low health, I found a 1-up, which allowed me to go back through without having to go back through 6-1, 6-2. You just start at the beginning of 6-3 to get to the boss. So it made me very happy. And then I beat the stage 7 after that, and I saved for the night because, like I said, it's a more challenging platform. It's not the hardest game I've played, but I don't like the old days of me playing for multiple hours a game are pretty much gone for an hour. I like my 1 hour gaming playing a game. After that, after an hour, I start to max out my willing to play basically a game. I can't do those all day binges anymore. Where after an hour, I want to play maybe either something else or take a break to watch something. Maybe just I should say on a first playthrough of a game like this is I've played this before but never beaten it, so I will beat it more than likely. But for my first playthrough, I don't really ever speed run through games. I always kind of like try to learn the game completely. From what I've played so far, I really like. I know I got a little bit left to go, and then I plan to tackle Resident Evil Revelations. I've always been a fan of the Resident Evil series. I've fallen off though with 5 and 6. I did not like those at all. But I've heard great things about 7, and I've heard good things about Revelations too, where people said this is more. If you're a fan of the older games, this one's probably more your cup of tea. So. Hopefully people are right. I've been wanting to play this game for a while, so I've been on my backlog for quite a while.
Okay, cool. So plugs. Ryan, it's Rocket Sauce on YouTube and it's Rocket Sauce on Twitter.
Yep.
And we got Josh. You are Creepleet on YouTube, and you are at Creepleet. That's 1337 on Twitter. And you host the Not So Special podcast with its inaugural episode out.
Yeah,
we'll see
just one
more.
it's more of a whenever I feel like it podcast. So
that's fine. I kind of feel like I should do that sometimes. And then me, Derek of Two Dorks. That's TWO Dorks on YouTube. And we all basically met, I think, through the Cartridge Club. I'm trying to remember if me and Josh met before the Cartridge Club or not. But
I think we did. Because I remember the first time we met, you came to my house to buy games.
The DS I bought off you and everything. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, I don't remember.
I don't know about you before that or not.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I kind of think I knew your YouTube channel, but I didn't know. Maybe we didn't know through the Cartridge Club. I can't remember. Anyway, basically the club, the community that brought us all together, it's a game of the month club, as we discussed earlier, and lots of awesome people. So join and talk on the forums or Twitter with us. And well, that sums it up. Thank you guys for being on. Thank you for being my guest. And
thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Big fan of the show.
Good. Well, till next time. Cha-ching.